What's up, everyone? It is the Lemon and Soap Project, episode 9. I'm AJ, and this is, what's your name again?
Colin.
Colin, with 2 L's, correct?
One.
1 L? Okay. So, the uploading schedule is kind of ass now, so this episode is going to go up next week, probably Sunday, because last week I was a dipshit and forgot to upload it on time, which is my mistake. But
alternatively, you could upload quicker with this episode, then we can be back on schedule.
That's really funny considering you don't do anything involved with the uploading or editing or anything behind the scenes, Colin. Pretty funny of you to say.
How much do you have to do?
Not much, but it's enough.
I think you're just lazy.
I have to edit it, which takes 5 minutes, and I have to make the thumbnail and then upload it. It's very time consuming.
And yet you don't take the time to you be ready for it.
I do. I'm a busy man. I have a lot of stuff to do. A lot of these things to do. Colin.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Anyway.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, before Colin ridicules me for doing things slightly off schedule when he doesn't do anything.
I remember what to do.
Anyway, so Colin, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, can't complain. I think I'm ready to take over the world any day now.
Really? Nice. How are you going to take over the world?
I have my ways.
You have your ways? Okay. So, today we don't really have too high of a structured video. I mean, we have a little plan.
Are we just going to say that every episode now?
Well, I mean, you often bring it up now. You're often like, yeah, we're not very structured or anything, but...
All I said was I wanted just a little plan. That way, I don't get burnt, because, just winging things is fine for a few episodes here and there. But generally, I feel like I just get burnt out when I don't know what to talk about.
Has to improv for an hour or so and gets burnt out.
I'm sorry, I didn't take improv classes.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I'll forgive you. So, Colin, let's talk about some of the Lego stuff that's been happening inside the Lego world. Anything interesting you want to talk about in that regard?
Well, for you video game fans, specifically the popular video game Fortnite, you might have heard of it. Recently got a few sets. So the almighty Battle Bus has a Lego set for $100 now. I don't know if it's available right yet or if it's just pre-order still, but that's very interesting. And then there's a few other ones. Other news let's kind of give the basics of Lego for you people who might not understand it all that well. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much, blocks that come together. Well, not blocks, bricks, because Lego's better. And they connect together in meaningful ways that create works of art almost. I have one on my desk here of a popular character that you all might know, one of you watching, little R2-D2. It's very complex, yet
nice.
Very simple.
Very nice. Wait, hold it up a little closer.
Yeah, it's all made out of elegant bricks connected together. And it won't stand right. It's a feature, not a bug. And, if you're thinking about getting into Lego, here's some things that I would say to keep in mind. Just remember, it takes up a lot of space. I deal with space problems all the time. I've literally got shelves on shelves behind me and all around me. It's a nightmare. But so that's one thing you got to consider. Price, obviously, Lego is incredibly expensive. I'm surprised it's not made out of titanium. But so another thing you got to keep in mind is your interests. If you're coming into Lego, like AJ here, he has been talking about getting into it maybe. If you have any particular interests, you like movies, you like what else? Plants. Do you like plants? Cars. There's a lot of cars. And some other things that you can just anything that you have an interest in. So for example, the cars. There's several themes you could go into in Lego. You've got the racing what is it called? Champions. that are like race cars and such, and those are pretty cool. And some of them aren't too badly priced. I think you get a little car, character, whatever. And then you've got the more intricate and probably more complex series called Architecture, or not Architecture, that's a different one. Technic, which is a little bit more complicated than just the little bricks, but you know, but whatever you're looking into, check it out if you want to, or don't. I don't care. Yeah,
Yeah, you know,
that's
you should be like a
my
salesman
spiel.
for Lego because you really just sell it all. You should like do a Lego infomercial, and they should pay you for that because that would be really good for you.
Mm.
Um, you see, here's the thing: like when I was a child, I was never really into Legos because I liked video games and I liked.
Oh, real quick. It's just Lego. It's
I
a
don't care. I'm
noun,
gonna
so
say Legos with an S because I know it pisses you off.
it doesn't just piss me off. It also is not correct.
I don't care.
So continue if you want to communicate with the fellow Lego people watching. All zero of them.
Well,
Please continue to say Lego.
for like the audience, you know, the non-existent audience, I apologize for what I'm going to do, but I just want to annoy Colin, so I'm going to say Legos for the rest of the episode.
It doesn't annoy me. It's just not correct.
Yeah,
So
but I
if you
don't
say
care.
Legos,
The fact that you brought it up
that
shows
means
that
nothing.
it's kind of annoying to you.
It means nothing. It physically means nothing.
Well,
Lego,
obviously,
that makes
it's
perfect
words.
sense.
Obviously, it doesn't physically mean anything, Colin.
Said Lego bricks, that could also work. Lego, that works. If you said Legos, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking in general. So, when I was a wee little child, I was never interested in the concept of Legos. It just never really struck me. But now that I'm older and I don't know, like I have the occasional hobby here and there, but I'm looking for something like to collect. 'Cause I like collecting things, and the idea of being able to not only collect Legos, but also build them and then put them on a shelf. It just seems very satisfying and fun. But yeah, okay, that's another one. But the problem is like I don't know, like I guess it's never too late to start, and I guess I could start now, but I'm definitely gonna get a job so I can pay for my own Legos and own stuff if I decide to buy it because I don't want to ask my parents, hey, can you buy me Legos as an 18-year-old? You know, that doesn't really sound like a, you know, right thing to do with money or correct economic spending. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll start small and get a small little set and see what goes from there. You also have the issue of storage. And I don't have a lot of storage in my house. So I would have to build some shelves and stuff like that. So I'll see what the future holds, but you know, we'll see. As you can see in Colin's room, he has plentiful shelves. I mean, I think he has more shelves than IKEA in his room. I mean,
They're all from IKEA.
yeah,
actually.
it's pretty impressive. Like
Billy bookcase.
Yeah, I've never seen his room in person, but I've seen it through FaceTime and everything. And I told him that it kind of like, you know, when you're watching like teenage shows on like Teen Nick or something, and the rooms are always hyper organized and like they have a lot of stuff in them. That's what Colin's room reminds me of. It has so much stuff in it. The rooms that I've had in my life have been bare as hell. They've had a bunch of John Cena posters on them, but that's about it. And they never really had anything special to them. So it's cool to see this like collector's room.
Did you have like a learning disability when you were younger? You have a very strange fascination with John Cena.
Well, I mean, I was a fan of WWE as a child. Learning disabilities, no. I don't recall ever having that. And it's really funny you're talking about learning disabilities when you're in a tie-dye hoodie and a Deadpool mask surrounded by Legos. I don't really think you can talk, Colin. So, anyway.
I don't question your lifestyle, okay? You're wearing a Kylo Ren mask. At least I change it up every now and again. Well, I wore this last time, but that's
the only reason I'm comfortable with the Kylo Ren mask is because I know that deep down I'm not like a nerd. I'm not a fan of it. This is the only thing I have right now that I feel comfortable wearing because it doesn't make my face as hot as some other masks.
You just don't want to wear the BDSM gear that you have.
I mean, my latex suit, I thought about wearing that, but it like comes with like a ball gag, and I wouldn't be able to talk with it in my mouth. It would kind of slur my speech a bit. So I
Pretty sure
thought,
you could just take that part
no,
off.
that'd be stupid. Like, why would I put on the suit without the ball gag? It kind of just goes together. But maybe I'll
Fair
find a
enough.
different one where I feel like I can wear it without. But yeah, so I was gonna segue into our next topic, which we love to do top fives on this channel. I mean, this
We love it.
podcast. What are we gonna refer ourselves as? Like channels or podcasts? It doesn't really matter. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
I think when we're doing podcast episodes, we could say podcast, but I have plans for this, and we can talk about it. We've talked about it before, but like doing other stuff, like maybe like vlog style type
Yeah.
stuff, and a few other things that we'll get into a little later.
Yeah, I think
Ghost
maybe we can
hunting.
talk about some of that at the end. But that is a good idea. Like I do want to do like maybe other stuff because like, is this gonna get famous? No, but I have fun doing it, so it might be fun to try other stuff. You
Who
know?
really cares if we get famous? I mean, it'd be nice,
Yeah.
but
Would
it's not about the money.
it's about sending a message.
Okay, I was winking under the mask. You didn't need to finish.
Well, I can't
Anyway,
see you. Okay, but
top five childhood TV shows.
okay.
Started
Well, I
off,
was gonna
AJ.
ask you a deep rooted question about would you ever want to be famous? Like,
I'd want to be famous on my own terms,
mhm.
like something like the Hulk 2 girl, if you know. If you know, you know. Clearly, she didn't try to be famous by saying that, but she did, and I don't think I'd want to be remembered for that. I mean, it would be pretty funny,
Yeah.
but that's not why I would want to be all around the world for 15 minutes. I want my fame to be something that I actually did and accomplished, and something I'm proud of, which isn't this podcast.
Mhm.
So still waiting on that moment of fame, but until then, I'm happy just being me, you know? And if I don't get famous, I'm okay with that. I can fall into obscurity.
Yeah. Anyway, that was kind of depressing. Um, let's talk about let's talk about childhood TV shows. How about it? We're not okay. So we're gonna preface this. We're not actually talking about like shows that are for children. You know, these could be any shows you watch during childhood. We just wanted to preface that. Um, so
Yes,
Colin,
or
why don't you take it away? Okay, wait. Are we doing like let's do least favorite to favorite?
Jesus Christ. You can do whatever you want. It's our channel.
Yeah, we can, but I think least favorite to favorite would be the best way.
It's okay. Start it off.
Huh?
I said start it off.
No, I said you started off. You're the. I don't have my list written down. I'm making it up on the fly, but it's okay.
Freaking idiot. This is why I told you you need to be prepared. All right, my
Okay.
number
Who's the one
five.
who wrote the agenda for this podcast? Me.
Yeah, and you forgot about the key part of it. Anyway,
It's
my
wonderful.
number five. This show, probably not many people have heard of. I feel like it wasn't as well known when it came out, and it kind of just fell off immediately. But it was called Hunter Street. I
I'm
believe
gonna
it
look
was
some of
on.
these up while you're talking, so I can get a
I
visual.
believe it was on Nickelodeon, and it was about. Well, the main character was a kid that just recently got adopted by a family who I think they were like rich parents or something, and I believe it was set in Amsterdam. I can't remember. So yeah, it's been a long time since I watched the show. But basically, main character gets adopted by this family who's got a bunch of kids that are adopted. There's like 10 of them or something. And at some point, the parents disappear. Like something happens, they disappear. And then the kids have to like go through these mysteries and look for um, basically. So it's got like elements of mystery and like kind of dramatic thriller, I'd say, like just very tame, obviously.
Yeah.
But I really liked it, and it piqued my interest for mystery. Like another show that I love, this honorable mention, Gravity Falls. I think everybody's seen it, and like that show really piqued my mystery heart, I guess, like love of like searching for answers of things and stuff like that, like conspiracies and such. And I think that's where that's come from with that. But really good show. Kind of, I forget how many seasons there were, but it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I've never seen that before in my life, so it's interesting to hear about. But yeah, so can we? Okay, never mind. So number 5 for me, it's going to be the Annoying Orange TV show. And now here's the thing. I liked the show, but the YouTube channel was better. So I'm just going to group those together because the YouTube channel is basically a show. Now, I know this is kind of controversial, but I'm a controversial guy. So, like, a lot of people don't like the Annoying Orange, but I think it serves its purpose. It's annoying. It's funny. It gets a few laughs here and there. Is it comedy genius or anything genius? No. But it has nostalgic value for me. I always liked it. I probably always will like it, you know. So, yeah, I also have a voice resembling the Annoying Orange. I've been told my voice is very annoying. But yeah, overall, really good well, okay, is it... Okay, let me preface that. It's probably not technically a good show, but I really like it, so it's on my list.
These are personal opinions,
yeah, they're
AJ.
personal
Nobody
opinions.
else has to like them.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone thinks, so fuck off if you disagree with me. So yeah, that's my number 5. Now, what about your number 4?
We could have cordial disagreements. We don't need to tell our viewers to leave, you know?
Yeah.
Just seems counterproductive, I think.
Yeah, well, since when are you Mr. Cordial?
Fair point. Number 4 for me is iCarly. This is a classic show. I think almost anyone in this sort of generation grew up on this show and loved it. You know, and I won't get into the behind the scenes of it, you know, whatever, and it is bad what happened, but I'm just looking at the show itself and the popularity of that. But overall, I think it was a really good show, and I just recently started rewatching it, and I have to say, some of the comedy still holds up today. It's pretty good, and amazing show. Yeah. Much better than what they put out today.
I mean, that's just such an amazing pick. The only issue I have is it's number 4. I can't wait to see what the rest of your list is if that's number 4, so...
These aren't really in any order for me, like with most of these lists, because I never really cared for that. But it's just kind of one of my top 5 favorite TV shows, and there's many more so that I could have picked from, but I chose these select 5 because I wanted to talk about them the most.
Yeah. So, okay, so this one, my number 4 is. So I don't really know like what age. We didn't really specify a parameter of a child, so I'm just gonna go under 18. And I watched this show when I was in middle school, so I'm gonna count it as a childhood show. So that show, what?
Are you gonna continue?
No, I'm waiting to see what you're shaking your head for, Colin.
All we said was childhood show. That's it. You don't need to explain it.
I'm not explaining anything. I'm just prefacing that this occurred in middle school. And some people
you're like the guy that says a joke that wasn't funny to begin with and then explains it thinking everyone will find it funny.
It's really
something
funny
I do on the regular.
That's the exact kind of guy you are, Colin. You'll say a joke and no one will laugh.
If you didn't cut me off, you would have heard me say like what I do. So I continue. Something I would do.
Okay, well, we didn't really need to hear you self-roast. I think it's more funny when I do it.
So. We didn't need to hear you explain when you saw this show. Just talk about the show.
I mean, I think I wanted to explain when I saw the show because I could 100% hear you saying, "But that's middle school. That's not what I meant by childhood show." That is 100% something you would do.
It would be pretty obvious.
You're the same guy who says I say Lego instead of Legos, so you're pretty specific about
AJ, were you innocent in middle school?
No, but that's
clearly not childhood anymore.
You see my issue? You see why I prefaced it and why I was like, yeah, well, I'm doing this in middle school. You know what? You're a flaming asshole.
People find arguing funny because I don't know if this is funny anymore.
I think you've never.
Tell it in the comments, please.
Huh?
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them.
Oh yeah, the one viewer. Yeah. So anyway, if I could continue with my list now that I was rudely
please.
My
continue.
number 4 show would be Showtime's one of Showtime's most popular TV shows, Dexter. Now it was a show about a serial killer, and it's a great show. Seasons 1 through 4 was amazing. Over, yeah, I'm just gonna continue what I'm saying because Colin's acting like an immature child.
Serial killer childhood.
You said it had to be when we were a child, and it didn't have to be a children's show.
Like,
it's within the parameters. Okay, can I continue now?
Please continue.
It's a great show. Seasons 1 through 4 were the best. Season 5 was okay, but then after that, it just kind of went down the drain a little bit. It's about a guy who kills serial killers, so he feels morally justified. Great show. It's a number 4 because it's not really a children's show, but it's still really good. So, yeah. So, Colin, what do you have to say about that, Mr. Judgmental?
My number 3 is a show that I actually watched when I was a child.
Yeah, coward. No,
Mighty Med. It was on Disney XD. It's basically, what's the plot of it? Oh, it's these two kids who love comic books, and then one day they find out that there's a hospital that helps superheroes, and they become superhero doctors. That sounds really dumb the way that I explained it, but it was much cooler on the show. One thing that I do remember from it was that the main doctor really had a thing for bridges, and he'd constantly bring it up, and for some reason I found this hilarious as a kid.
That's so funny.
But it was a really good show. And then they did a collaboration with, or a crossover with Lab Rats in the series, and that was pretty cool.
It's funny
Another really good show.
It's funny you mentioned Lab Rats, because that's my number 3, Lab Rats.
I just came up with that, didn't you?
No, I was serious. I had my list planned out. When you spent too long talking about the Hunter.
You had it.
No, when you spent too long talking about the first one, that's when I spent my time planning it out. Sorry for that. It was technical difficulties. We had to cut a segment out. So Colin was trying to interrupt me, and I got mad and tried to assassinate him. So anyway, as we were talking, it was number 3 on my list, and number 3 is Lab Rats. It's a great TV show. It's about three bionic children and one regular child who all live together, if I remember correctly, and it's really good. Yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say about that. I just really like the show.
You're not going to explain anything else?
I mean, no. If I say too little, you're like, oh, it's not enough. But if I don't say enough, whatever.
Why are you going to argue with them?
That is the audacity. Okay, never mind. I'm not.
My number two for top 5 TV shows as a kid, Sweet Life on Deck. Now, I think majority of people probably preferred Sweet Life of Zack and Cody better than this subsequent show. But I personally preferred the one on the boat because I like boats, and I think it was more around the time that I was growing up, like these shows are supposed to be. And it was really good. It was basically the same premise, only instead of being in a hotel, all the characters, they were on a boat. And then I believe this one brought in Debbie Ryan's character, which one of my childhood crushes, I suppose. And then you've got Zack and Cody, obviously, which I could never tell the difference of, because they're twins. There was a lot of shows regarding twins in Disney Channel, which is something I recently heard about. Like, there's that one Liv and Maddie.
Oh my god, I completely forgot that show existed. Jesus.
Yeah, and then you've got, it wasn't Disney Channel, but on Nickelodeon, it was Nikki, Ricky, Dickie, and Dawn, which was technically quadruplets.
I actually liked that one.
That was a really good show. But I don't know what it is with these TV shows and having main characters as like twins and triplets and quadruplets. Thundermans, that had twins. I don't know if these people realize that twins are rare, but sure.
Yeah. That's actually a good point. I've never realized how many twins there are in shows like that, but it's kind of weird, but, who really cares? So we're moving on to number 2, right?
Yes.
Number 2. My number 2 is iCarly. Great show. Um, excellent show. I mean, sorry.
This sounds familiar. That sounds familiar, AJ.
I
I can't
literally
quite put
told
my.
you. I didn't. I tell you. Oh, wait, never mind. I forgot. I didn't tell you. iCarly's on my list as well.
That's so funny because it was on my list too,
We're
and I
allowed to
said
do
it
that.
3 times ago. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, iCarly is a great show. Spencer Shea is one of my favorite characters in probably television in general.
Spencer's. I don't give you that.
Yeah, I mean he likes ostriches. He likes meatballs. You know, he likes socks.
Make spaghetti tacos.
Spaghetti tacos, which I've actually tried, and they are terrible, but in like a charming way. They're like so bad it's good in the food version. But you know, like Colin said, I'm just gonna now. Like I'm not gonna talk about all the heinous stuff that went on behind the scenes because overall it was just an excellent show. I haven't watched like the new series they had with like the grown up like adult what's the actual show called, like the revamped one on Paramount?
I'm pretty sure it's still called iCarly.
Okay, yeah, I haven't watched that one.
I feel
yet.
like it's a bit redundant, but I don't remember. I watched a few episodes of it. I thought it was good, but
yeah.
But yeah,
that's my number 2 pick. Now, Colin, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is a great show, and bringing in a person that I just brought up a few moments ago, Debbie Ryan, Jessie, one of probably the best Disney Channel show in my opinion. Once again, adopted kids for some reason. I don't know why that's a running theme too. It's probably a good message, but anyway, you know, group of adopted kids, they need a nanny, and Debbie Ryan comes in trying to be an actress and winds up meeting the family of the 2 most well-known actors in this universe. That's a stroke of luck if I ever heard one. And you know, the show is basically the same premise. The kids have a problem. Jessie's nowhere to be seen, even though she's a nanny and should be watching over them. Hijinks happens. She comes in, saves the day or whatever, all that. It's a pretty good story, I think. But it happens basically the entire series. And then you got their butler, which is hilarious. Bertram.
Bertram, that was his name. I couldn't remember the name of that guy.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah. Probably my favorite character out of the show. Yeah. And then they ended it, and they bunked for some reason, which was good for its first 2 seasons, I'll say, and fell into obscurity after that. Yeah. But still, a very nice story, and I really enjoyed it. It's got a special place in my heart, and also involved the late, great voice. That was his name. R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. So wait, I never watched Bunked. Was Bunked like a direct sequel to Jessie?
It was a spin-off. So most of the kids, I think, except for Cameron Boyce, because he was going on to Descendants, great series, show, but franchise, whatever. But like I know Emma and I don't remember any of their names, but most of the kids go to the summer camp or whatever because their parents can't afford to be with them at all. Even though I'm pretty sure Jessie ended with the mom wanting to stay with her kids more, but then immediately sends them off to summer camp. Interesting parenting style, I'll say, but whatever. And then I think like the following season, they all disappear, and it's just the cast of Bunked left, like the new people. And then the show kept going until literally only one person from season 1 was still in the original in the series. I don't understand Disney on that choice, but you know, it was a good show for a little bit. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I've always liked Jessie. I really like. What was the lizard's name? You remember the lizard's name in the show?
Oh,
hold on. I'm actually gonna look.
Kipling.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up all their names because I can't remember.
So Jessie, obviously, Emma was the older sister.
Ravi, that was the
Ravi,
I knew Luke and Ravi and Zuri.
Zuri, that was her name. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was a solid show. I don't think I watched like every episode of it, but it was solid. The
Right.
opening theme song was good too.
Oh yeah, the opening is so good. Probably my favorite part, like favorite scene in Jesse, was when the manager from Sweet Life, Mr. Mosby, showed up in an episode once, and him and Jesse like ran into each other, and he said that she looked like Bailey, her character from the show. I loved that moment. Even as a kid, I knew what it was, and I loved it. So good.
Yeah.
Mr. Mosby was one of my favorite characters.
All right, so moving on to my number one pick, greatest childhood show of all time, is I'm surprised it wasn't in your list. SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, I don't. Do I really need to say anything? I mean,
I don't think you do. It's a classic.
it's like the first 5 seasons are perfect, like absolute perfect comedy. You can't get better than that. Like adults can laugh, children can laugh, everyone can laugh at it. Um, it is funny though. It is like marketed as a child show, but a lot of parents don't let their kids watch it because they say it's too dirty and like adult oriented. Now, like I never got that. My parents always let me watch it. I mean, does it have adult jokes? Yeah, but if you're a child, you're not gonna get those.
They're very subtle in their
Yeah,
jokes, and the only one that I can currently remember is the one time SpongeBob had his underwear over his head and his nose was sticking out, so it
yeah,
looked like a boner.
yeah.
Like, what child is going to get that?
Yeah, I don't know. I
It
think
is
people are too uptight about that type of stuff. Um,
like I do understand the point of it. Like, it is a little bit dirty, but once again, no child's gonna understand that, and like it really isn't that bad. Like, oh my god, it's his nose. It looks like a penis. So does Squidward's nose, even without underwear over it.
yeah.
Grow up.
But like, I have always loved it. I feel like after season 5, the movie came out, their first movie, and that was supposed to be the end of the series. But then they kept going, and I'm not gonna say like after that movie, the episodes definitely weren't as good, but they were still funny. But now watching the show, it's just sad because it's just the comedy, in my opinion, isn't there. It relies on the shocking nature of animation, and it's just not good, in my opinion. It's not funny.
I think the most dramatic you can see the show decrease in value is when Steven Hillenburg passed away. I
Yeah.
think that's when it really started to just drop. Like, I don't remember exactly when that was, but it's before then the show was amazing. It was great. It was funny. It was smart even in some cases. Like, it actually had good humor.
Yeah.
Now it's all fart jokes and whatever else you can come up with. Before we had fire underwater, like that was hilarious. And now we have Patrick. Just why did they make that Patrick show?
Have you ever seen Have you ever seen an episode of it?
I've seen clips of it. There's parts of it that aren't horrible, but majority of it is just awful.
Yeah, I saw an episode because I sometimes had it on when I was like doing homework, and I was watching it. I'm like, what in God's green earth is this shit that is on the TV right now? It was some of the most like it's like what I'd imagine you'd see when you're sleep deprived and have like a 120-degree fever or something like
Yeah.
that. It's just weird. We don't do honorable mentions, but I feel like just throwing this show out there as well didn't make the list. But Loud House, did you ever watch that?
I watched it and like I liked it up until ironically they showed the parents, like that Christmas episode they had where they showed the parents. After that episode, I hated it. I don't know why. It just wasn't good anymore.
Yeah. I didn't put that on the list because, I mean, with some of, like, I guess that could have replaced Dexter, but I also wanted to throw Dexter in to piss you off, which worked. And also, like, what I liked about Loud House was it always taught good morals, which I think like young shows or shows for young children should. It's good if they teach that. I don't think every show should. I don't think it's necessary for every show to. Huh?
I don't quite remember any morals that showed.
No, I mean not really morals, but it teaches like about how to get along with family, and it teaches a lot of different aspects: how to interact with older siblings, younger siblings, how to act independently, how to interact with your parents. You know, it doesn't necessarily teach you anything, but it shows that someone learning from their mistakes, which can help other people or other children, I should say, possibly learn from their mistakes as well. So
yeah, you're right.
Man, that's
I'm pretty sure there was one character that was gay, well, lesbian in it, and that was like one of the first times that I witnessed that as a kid, I guess. Maybe not the first, because I knew about it before that, but I was really like not like proud, but like happy to see that, you know, kids shows are like putting that in without like shoving it down people's throats, because I don't like that. Like, I don't need every single character to be gay or whatever, but like just spreading that in, like, oh, she likes a girl, that's new, like it's pretty big, I think, for shows then in that era when that came out.
Yeah,
and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I agree. And like, I don't correct me if I'm wrong. You might not even know, but I think that might have been like the first popular mainstream children's show to incorporate that kind of stuff into it. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that, but
I don't know either. The only other example that I can remember, and I don't know if it's more teen oriented. I forget the name of the show, but it was the girl that she didn't know her grandmother, or she didn't know her mother was actually her grandmother, and her sister was her mother. And then she like was crushing on a boy, and she had two friends. One was a girl, one was a boy, and the boy liked the girl's crush, which was also a guy. So like there was that, and I don't remember that turning into anything, but what was the name of that show?
No, was it a Teen Nick show?
It wasn't. It was Disney Channel, but it was like older, like it was more teen oriented. Oh man,
I'm really curious now.
I don't remember.
Was it Stuck in the Middle?
Not Stuck in the Middle. I don't remember. I'll have to look for it later.
Yeah,
but
now I'm really
good show. So I'll give that as an honorable mention to anyone that remembers the name of that.
Yeah, I'm genuine. So let me know when you figure out the name for that, because I'm curious what it is.
I probably won't.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know what you would search up for that, but
just Disney Channel shows, I guess.
Overall, I definitely say I would lean more towards Nickelodeon than Disney, but
see, I was more of a Disney kid, like not a Disney kid, but there was more shows that I leaned towards for Disney. And then Nickelodeon, there were a lot of things, like the more teen stuff I think I was more into on Nickelodeon, like Victorious and then iCarly. And I did watch Sam and Cat for a while. I know that show wasn't as good.
Yeah, I think that show was just okay. Like, it wasn't breaking any new ground. I think it was just okay.
Yeah. But I really liked it, so
yeah.
Whatever.
Alright.
But I can't remember the name of that show.
Yeah,
it was like a new actor that like now he's in everything for some reason. And I don't remember his name either. Did I tell you I have a bad memory?
You have like the memory of a goldfish, Colin. It's pretty pathetic, but it's okay.
No, that's giving me too much credit.
Okay, you have a memory of like a pet rock.
Yeah, we'll go with that, sure.
So, I've been working out recently.
Really?
Yeah, so I started this new workout routine. Well, not really. I guess it is a routine, but the most jarring thing about it is I've had to get up at 5:30 in the morning. I might have mentioned this on the podcast before, but let me tell you, like, you can go to bed early, and getting up at 5:30 is still fucking brutal to do, man.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's just... Why are you fondling the screen?
I'm trying to fix something. I clicked out of the call and I can't find it.
Just go on to Discord and find it.
I'm on Discord and I'm trying to find it, but there's like nothing to click on. Just keep talking.
Okay.
Don't worry about
But
it.
yeah, I don't care. Like, you can go to bed like and sleep for 12 hours. Nothing prepares you for getting up at 5:30. Like,
You do not go to sleep 12 hours
no,
prior to waking up.
I'm saying I don't, but I'm saying you could. The most I've gotten like 10 hours of sleep one time. I went to bed at like 9 and got up at 5:30, and I still was fucking tired. And like it's so annoying, but today was leg day and that really hurt. But I think my legs are the strongest part of my body. Like, leg day is always not easy for me, but it's not the hardest. He keeps seeing you touch the screen, and it's kind of...
Sorry, I'm like trying not to touch the camera.
Stop
but
wiggling your finger in front of my face.
This is difficult, okay? Continue talking. Don't worry about me.
Okay, but
this is the same problem I had last time.
Yeah, I like working out. I'm a fat tub of lard, so I gotta get better. I gotta lose weight, so I'm not fat forever. But like, I like it. I do cardio every day except for leg day, because I don't do cardio on leg days. I do jumping. I like jump rope, but I do it with like a weighted jump rope, so it's extra difficult. I got 120 jumps that I don't know if you call it 120 jumps or 120 jump ropes, but I did 120 of them, and that was exhausting. But I'm just gonna keep increasing how much I do, then incorporate other cardio elements, and hopefully I just get better.
Yeah, I think that's what exercise is all about. Just keep going further and further to your limit, or pushing your limit.
So you've been exercising too recently, haven't you?
Yeah, so I'd say my exercising journey began where everyone else's does, middle school. I couldn't do like 5 push-ups. I think I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure I couldn't even make it to 5 without passing out, basically. And not really passing out, but you get what I mean. Like a few years ago, I just started trying to do push-ups again, and I managed to get to 10, which was incredible to me. And then started pushing that and got to like 15, 20, and I stayed on 20 for a while. And then one day I finally hit 30. Well, then I started doing 30s and 30s, and over time, I mean, this is over like a few years of time, but in the last year, I managed to get to 40. Only a few weeks ago, I think I got to 40. Mm-hmm. And just recently, this morning actually, I managed to get to 50 push-ups in a row, which I never thought I'd be able to do. And they probably aren't the...
Sorry, go ahead. No, sorry, go ahead.
I was really interrupted. They're probably not like professional push-ups, I'll say. Like, they aren't the greatest. Like, by the time I hit 30 push-ups, I'm like wiggling and like just barely getting there. I keep pushing and pushing myself, and I'm really proud of myself, so I don't care what anyone else does about it. I don't do it in public, so no one can say anything about it. But overall, I think it's pretty good, especially when what I'm doing now, I couldn't have done when I was in middle school, which wasn't that long ago. But I'm really proud of myself, and I'm still pushing myself, so I want to, keep getting 50 and then push from there.
Yeah. And I think that's like, even though, like you say, you get kind of wiggly near the end, the fact that you still push yourself and complete it is what matters. So I say you keep doing what you're doing. You can do more push-ups than me. Even at my most fit like state, I still struggle with push-ups because my back is just so it's like, I don't know, my back and my shoulder blades, they're just not suited for doing push-ups, especially because I'm like larger. So I just stick to like, when it comes to calisthenics, I just mainly focus on squats and stuff like that, and then do weights. Calisthenics is just not really my thing. Maybe when I lose more weight, I'll be able to do it and not have joint pain, but we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, it's all about progress. So as long as you're making progress, that's what matters.
And I recently also started doing squats. I think it was right around the time when you started going back to the gym.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do something else because I felt like, I was doing good on push-ups, but I wasn't doing anything else. Like, I only did it for like 5 minutes, and then I'd be done with my exercise for the day, which
Yeah.
I just keep doing it right before I go to bed. That way, when I go to bed, I'm extremely tired.
Mm.
Even though it doesn't work, I still stay up late and can't get awake anymore. But sleep is for the weak. I'll sleep when I'm dead, which might be soon because I can't sleep. But regardless of my sleeping habits, I started doing squats, and I'd say I'm doing pretty good. I think I can do like 30 without weight. And just this morning, I tried it. The only weights I have in my room is bowling balls.
Mm.
So what I've been doing is I've just been like doing curls with them. That finger position looks interesting, but um, it really sucks because like it strangles my fingers a lot and hurts. Like if I had like a regular barbell, it could work, but because I just have the bowling ball and 3 holes to hold them, freezing.
Yeah.
That great, but I make do with what I got, and hey, it works.
Yeah, it does. Um, yeah, like as long as you're getting like hitting the right muscles, and to start, probably you're gonna hit like not like the perfect because like when you're working out, like you want to hit a lot of different muscles, and doing it by yourself without anyone who really knows a lot about it, you're probably not gonna get every exercise to hit the right muscle. But as long as you're hitting some muscle and you're not injuring yourself, then that's what really matters, in my opinion. You know.
Oh yeah.
So.
And like I'm doing way more than I ever did before,
Mhm.
so I consider that progress, even though it's only like maybe not even 10 minutes of exercise.
Yeah.
It's more than anything I've done before. And so as long as I'm doing that, I feel better with myself.
Yeah. The two were because you mentioned squats. It reminded me of two terrible exercises that I've done. The first one, I don't think my father created, but he made me do it. Well, didn't make me, but so you basically take like a weight that you put on like a barbell and you put it on the ground and you put your heels on that, and then you take a dumbbell and you do squats with your heels on the weight, and then you do like 10 of those and then 10 regular ones. It is hell on earth, dude. It like works out apparently like two different muscles in your legs. It's horrible. The next exercise that's terrible is hack squats. And hack squats are basically when you sit in like it's hard to like explain, but you sit in like a not a machine, like I don't know, maybe I'll just hold on. Are hack squat machines like a thing?
Well, while he's Googling that, I've also, I want to try and get back into just going on walks. I feel like that's good. I love going on walks, like hiking, whatever. So hopefully, funny enough, when the winter comes, I can go walking around in the woods because then don't got to worry about like ticks and snakes and bears, and the occasional homeless man, and just worry about myself, the woods, and the random staircases that follow.
Oh my! Okay, we're gonna talk about that after, but that's an amazing reference. But yeah, the hack squat machine is a real thing, and it basically when you first start out, it feels like your body is gonna snap in half. But I also like going on walks too. I haven't been on a walk in forever. I don't live in like if I lived in a wooded area, I would 100% go on walks, but I'd have to make sure I went with someone who had a good sense of direction because I have no sense of direction. Like
I think I have the survival skills out of the two of us. I have better survival skills.
I wouldn't say. I think here's the thing: you have good sense of direction, but when it comes to like living in like shittier environments, I think would probably do a little bit better. I slept on the floor for a long time, so I'm just naturally accustomed to that. And like I haven't been camping before, but like I've been on road trips and those aren't very comfortable. Like I feel like you would be able to navigate with us better, but I think you'd complain more about the sleeping situation than I would. But
I don't know. I mean, I probably would complain about it a lot, but I'd be able to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
there was a time I went on an extended train ride with my mom, and she hated it. But it wasn't that bad for me. I mean, I woke up a bunch of times, but like that morning, I mean, I was nervous and excited, so like there were other things going on with me. But like overall, I felt pretty good. Like, It
That would
wasn't the
be
worst
interesting, though. Stick
experience.
us in the wilderness and see how we do.
That'd be a fun video we could do. We could
It's
just go
like
out in the woods for like a day,
we should
never
start like
come back.
we should start like a new show, Clothed and Afraid, instead of Naked and Afraid, because we want to be clothed. I'm not going to see you naked, so we should start like Clothed and Afraid and go into the wilderness.
Very concerning that that was your first immediate thought after talking about going into the woods was naked and afraid.
Well, no, because that's like the only. There's two thoughts that come to mind when I think of survival: Bear
You
Grylls.
didn't think of. I was gonna say Bear Grylls.
Well, when you think of Bear Grylls,
Survivor.
when you think of Bear Grylls, you think of drinking your own piss. Would you drink your own piss if you had to?
Heck no, that is completely fake. You don't get anything from that.
I would do it just for the comedy, but I know I would probably die soon after.
All right, I think we'll save that one for our fetishes episode. That's very concerning.
All
anyway.
right. I do not have a piss fetish. I'm putting that out there. I don't know why Colin mentioned that.
You're the one that brought it up.
I was
and said
talking about Bear Grylls and survival, and you made it. Okay. Anyway,
do that.
I think going camping.
Bear Grylls is one of like the more fake naturalists you'll ever find.
Yeah. Who's that other survival guy? Maybe he's not a survival. Maybe I'm thinking of Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin. Yeah, he wasn't a survival guy, but
Great
he was
man.
awesome.
Legend. R.I.P.
Oh yeah. Fuck PETA for trying to slander him. You know.
Really?
You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
They tried to. I can't remember exactly what they tried to say, but they like insulted him on his birthday or something.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
PETA can rot in hell.
Nice jar of dirt, by the way.
Thank you. I recently got this fill. You know, I could have gone to the beach myself, but I hate the beach. So, and instead, I brought the beach to me.
Yeah.
But now I got sand.
I don't like sand. But like a camping episode would be cool. What would you do if we ran into like one of the stairs in the woods? Now I know they're fake, but like it'd be really cool if it was a real thing.
I thought you were gonna say like, what if we ran into a bear? I was like, push you and run.
Yeah.
But if I had to say, if I ran into a staircase, the general rule is to not touch it, and I'd climb all over it. You know, I'd walk up it, I'd walk down, I'd slide down it like a sexy millionaire.
Okay.
That's not sexy. But you know, I think it'd be pretty cool to walk along. You know, I could do like the like a waltz or something down it. You know,
you could do like the backwards crawl from Exorcist. It'd be pretty cool.
It could do. I probably would do that after I get possessed by whatever demon built those stairs. But
yeah.
you know, I could do like the Joker walk down the stairs.
Yeah. Or you could fall down them. That'd be pretty cool. Speaking of ghosts,
you down.
We were going to talk about, we don't really know what we're going to talk about with ghost hunting, but something cool we did make a pact on is when one of us dies. Now, assuming we don't die together while robbing a bank or something, and assuming one of us dies first, that's a good question. Who do you think will die first between the two of us?
I don't know. I feel like I'm a more people person, even though I hate people. So I have less enemies, I think, than you probably do. So you might just get shot by someone one day.
I'm a people person. I just choose when I want to
be. You were just explaining the other day how I'm like more empathetic and more of a good person.
Well, you're more empathetic, but I'm a sociable person. I just don't necessarily like all the people I talk to. I'm good at faking it.
But I think also with the things I've done in my life versus the things you've done in your life, I feel like, well, I can only think of one example that I really did. There's one time I was watching, I wasn't in charge of watching all the children, but I was at a party and seemingly all the adults walked away while I was outside. And so I was just paying attention to the kids, making sure none of them tried to kill each other or whatever. And then I just see two girls just running down the street. And I was like, where is everybody? And so I had to take off running and make sure these kids didn't get, ran over by a car if they ran out into the street, kidnapped, whatever. And I managed to pull them back and brought them back to the house, and thankfully someone came out after. But like, I don't know what could have happened if I wasn't there. Like, that's a scary thought that's been circling in my mind. So I think with the karma of that, I've got a better chance of living than you do.
Yeah, I don't, I haven't. Well, I've done some heroic things in my life. You
What have
know,
you done that's heroic, AJ?
a lot of things. I set a building on fire one time, but like I waited until everyone was outside of the building before doing it. So
Okay.
that counts, I think. But I can't remember what was the point of us talking about that. Oh yeah, we swore.
One
Oh
of
yeah,
us dies first.
oh yeah, and then we made a pact that if one of us dies first, the other one's gonna do a Ouija board to try to talk to the other.
What if we both live to like our 90s and then one of us finally dies from natural causes or addiction, and the
Jesus.
other one has to like crawl to the store to get a Ouija board or
I really
something?
doubt either of us are gonna live till we're 90 though. I mean, it's
I mean,
possible, but
there's a saying that assholes never die,
that's true.
and
I
I'd
think we're
say we're in the running on that one.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, I definitely think I am the worst person out of the two of us. However, I'm also really good at being faking social interaction. Like, well, here's the thing. Like, I consider myself both an introvert and an extrovert. Like, depending on the mood I'm in, I can be really sociable and like talking to people. But when my social battery runs out, I'm like, I'm done. I will literally walk away if I'm in a conversation and go sit by myself.
From what I remember about like introvert versus extrovert is that's just introversy, is that you have a social battery and it runs out and then you can't interact anymore.
Maybe,
That's
but
what being an introvert is.
probably.
Because like it's a common misconception that introvert just means you don't like talking to people, but I've found somewhere that like it means technically that like you do still have social interaction, it's just very limited, and eventually you just can't anymore and then you walk away. So technically that's still
Yeah,
introversy.
perhaps.
But I do agree. I think I have moments where like I'm more extroverted than I am introverted. I mean, it's all kind of like a spectrum of sorts, you know.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
know. We're both kind of strange. Like
that's a 100%.
yeah, because like some days I'll just literally like just not like I can be in the room with some of my favorite people and just not feel like talking to them because I don't feel like talking to anyone. It also might be some mild depression or whatever's wrong with me.
Well, that's an entirely different issue.
I feel like if I got therapy, I might be actually a full on extrovert. I don't know, but I don't really care. I'm me regardless. Like, so who really cares? But
Well, you really can be.
yeah. I think me and
Never
you
do
might
anything
be
impossible.
assholes, but at least we're unique, and at least we're not boring. You know, we might be annoying, but you know, you can't say we're boring. You can say we're annoying, but oh well. And that's I think what I've strived my life to be. Is like I don't really want to be liked by everyone, but I also don't want to be forgettable or boring. So I
Oh,
think I'm
yeah.
doing well at that.
Ever since I dressed up as Weird Al, I wanted to strive to be the weird that I want to see in the world, you know,
Yeah.
do things that most people generally don't. For example, I've lined up for 3 movie nights costumes that I will wear, and I've tried on all costumes, and I look like a total idiot wearing them. But you know what? I'm going to go out in public and wear them and be happy about it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out and no one understands what I'm doing, then I'll just slowly crawl in a hole and die.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm the like that's the thing. Like, as long as you're comfortable in your own skin, I walk around with a neck beard, with a shitty Redditor neck beard, and I don't care because I
There's
like it.
some confidence right there.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not trying to impress anyone. That's because like I walked out of the house one time, and my mom, like I could like probably look like a complete idiot. My mom would say like, "Oh, you look very handsome today." One of the outfits I wore the other day was so color clashing that my mom looked at me up and down and was like, "You should change. I don't know what you're wearing." And I'm like, "Mom, I'm not trying to impress anyone. I don't care." So
Well, you don't need it.
And then the
Yeah,
other
I mean,
day,
look at me for.
the other day I had a muscle shirt on. Now I don't really like muscle shirts, but it had like an Art the Clown design on it, and I really liked it, so I decided to wear it. My sister was ranting about her day and looked over at me, looked me up and down, and was like, "You look derpy in that. Get some muscles before you wear the muscle shirt again." And also, the whole outfit's just not it today. I'm like, okay. Like, thanks.
Man,
And that's
your
why,
personality is starting to make more sense the more I hear about your family.
yeah. I mean, as soon as I was born, my father said I looked like Gollum, and my grandfather says that my mom's only mistake was having a second child, which is me. So, but it's all in love, you know. We just make fun of each other.
It's a fun day when you find out you were in an accident.
You know, probably it doesn't. I don't care. You know, an accident, happy accident. That's what I say.
I know.
Okay, but I think living in a family where you constantly make fun of each other is why I have such thick skin. Because like, it's hard to actually hurt my feelings. Like unless you like constant like constant pushing on one thing, then I might get a little bit butthurt. But you know, oh well.
See, I think I have like kind of the opposite. Is that like I can have like the most heinous things said about me. I mean, I've been called Harry Potter my entire life, although I kind of love that nickname now. But anyone could say anything to me, nothing. It's the people that are closer to me that if they say something, I get offended.
Mm-hmm.
Like it hurts. Like it's like kind of in a betrayal sort of way that like, you know, I can have someone tell me I'm a dumb idiot, and my dad says it because I did something slightly stupid, I will cry in my room for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Not really an exaggeration, but kind of an exaggeration. Anyway, like it's so weird that like I can have all that said to me and like I just don't care. But then someone like you says something. Well, you are kind of different. You're not really a friend. You're kind of an enemy. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway.
Also, you've been like, I didn't want to tell you this, but you've been like sideways for like 30 minutes right now.
Oh, so that is an issue. I just assumed it was on my end.
No,
and
I wasn't going to say anything because I thought you knew, but then I'm like, maybe he doesn't know, so maybe I'll say something. But
I figured it was fine on your end, and it was only weird on my end.
Oh, no, it's
so
weird
I didn't
on my end,
bother.
too.
And I figured because you didn't say anything that there
Well,
wasn't a
you
problem.
knew.
But thank you for waiting 30 minutes to clarify that there was in fact a problem.
Well, I thought if you would have known that, you would have, you know, tried to fix it. But can't rely on you.
There was a way to fix it. I've been having technical issues for an hour here, AJ. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm up or half sideways for this episode. It adds to the uniqueness of our podcast.
And now here comes Colin saying, "We don't really structure this, guys. It's not high budget." You know, that's something.
No, this was planned, AJ. I planned this
okay,
because
yeah,
do you see a single podcast anywhere? Go find it where you have a co-host that is sideways for 80% of the episode.
And where do you have another co-host who has a stupid Kylo Ren mask on? You know, I don't see any other. You should. Oh my God! You should be upside down next time and you could be in.
I want you to know that my phone is completely, like, perfectly level. It's just the camera being annoying and Discord not working.
Damn.
So.
Yeah. Well, I think we've been going for like about an hour, honestly. So I think we're gonna wrap up episode 9. So. It's been a lovely episode. Colin kind of pissed me off to start when he started trash talking my list, which kind of, you know, aggravated me. But I can get over that.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll forgive him probably. But yeah, this has been episode 9. If you enjoyed this, thanks. I guess if you somehow made it all the way through and wasn't like, who are these assholes? I don't want to watch this. You know, so. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I have been AJ.
And if you have any suggestions for us to talk about, please leave it in the comments.
Yeah, if you have any,
we don't know what we're doing.
If you have any top 5 suggestions for us, we'd love to hear that.
Yes, that'd be great.
I have an idea of what we can do next. I'm not 100% sure, but you guys don't need to know that. You're not creating the podcast. It's our deal, so back off.
Yeah, you'll find out next time.
Yeah,
this is how we get more viewership.
Yeah.
Come back next time.
Whenever the hell we upload or make the next one. So, but yeah, this has been Soap, and that has been
Lemon.
And we'll see you next time.